What's up guys? In this video, we're going to explore if autopiloting is destroying your poker profits. So first of all, we need to define what is autopiloting. Generally speaking, it's this low energy state where you're not thinking very much and you're generally playing very ABC poker, you're playing your default game without too much cognitive effort. Alright, so it's not to be mistaken with being in the zone or in a flow state, which also is less effort. It's when you're cruising. You're not putting much energy in and you're not thinking at a high level. So we can see why the brain would want to do this. Alright, poker is a very energy demanding activity and the brain's burning a lot of calories to focus at a high level. When you do something often, the mind stores lots of pattern recognition of what you're doing and it tries to do the same activity with less energy. Great for your survival and great for saving energy of the mind and the body, but when it comes to focus, it costs you money. Every time you autopilot, it costs you money at the tables. Alright, so the brain's trying to down-regulate mental energy, down-regulate energy expenditure of the brain whilst you're playing poker, and it's costing you. It's costing you a lot. Now, most players drift in and out of this autopilot mode throughout their sessions without realizing, without noticing that they're losing focus and they're autopiloting. After speaking with hundreds of players on this topic, on focus and autopilot, I've realized that there's three main obstacles that you have. All right. So the first obstacle that gets you to autopilot or takes you out of high focus is boredom. You get bored. The mind gets bored. We're so used to having endless stimulus, just going on YouTube, going on Twitch, grabbing our phones. We're so used to being engaged with lots of stimulus that when we're only playing a few tables of online poker or one table in a casino, we start to get bored. There's not enough stimulus. We feel like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's not very challenging. All right, so the first obstacle is boredom. We'll come back to it in a second. The second obstacle is distractions. All right, you're playing poker, but you're doing something else, or something else is going on in your environment. This might mean you've got some messages you're responding to, there's something that's taking up your attention. It could also be thoughts. You could be thinking about what you're gonna eat later, or do I need a break, or what you're gonna do after your poker session. Distractions either in the mind or in your environment that are taking you out of focus. So you're playing poker, you're still making decisions, but you're not putting much energy in. They're almost like a side thing, or at least partial awareness towards them. And the third issue that causes autopilot is playing too many tables. You're playing too many tables. There's just too much information coming in too quickly. So imagine you're playing 12 tables, but you're only trained yourself to play, say, 10 tables. Now you're playing 12 tables, you haven't got time to think. You haven't got time to go through a cognitive process that you would normally go through, so you're gonna have to play based on just what you see instantly. All right, so you have to play quicker, and very often this drives players to go into autopilot. Doesn't mean you can't play more tables with high focus, but if you play more tables than you're able to manage, you will go into autopilot as default, all right? Because your mind won't be able to go into a high focused state, all right? Now, if we look at all these problems, apart from the last one, say that the playing too many tables, if you select to play too many tables, that's just an error in itself, but often all of the autopilot problems are coming from boredom. Boredom leads you to get distracted, so you take on a distraction in your environment. And boredom also often leads you to play more tables. Many players report to me, they go, oh, I played way too many tables yesterday. And when I ask why, and I dig a bit deeper, it's because the action was too slow. They got bored. They weren't engaged in what they're doing. So rather than trying to focus more on the tables they're playing, they fired up more, all right? If you're firing up more tables just standardly because you're the kind of guy who's addicted to more stuff, then it might not apply to boredom for you. But for most players, the root is boredom. All right, the root is boredom. So we need to realize, okay, boredom is the obstacle, and when I am bored, I either distract myself, play too many tables, or I autopilot, just in that state. So we need to fight back. So when you're looking at the brain and how it works, you need to realize that the brain is going to drift. All right, so we have what I call your attention, which is right in the center of your vision, and then we've got our peripheral awareness. All right, this could be in your environment. So right now my peripheral awareness is a window over there. It's a light in my face here. And my attention is on the center of the camera. All right, so they're in my visual field. Also, in my peripheral awareness, I've got thoughts. And you've got thoughts as a poker player in the back of your mind are in your peripheral, right? So they're there but not strong, right? When you're trying to focus, you want your attention centered, in this case at the poker tables, and things in your peripheral awareness are distracting you, or like they're kind of in the background. When you autopilot, those things in the background start to come to the front more frequently, and you have less engagement, less attention held on what you're doing, all right? So we need to be aware that the mind is going to drift. We're going to have things in our peripheral awareness that capture our attention, either in our physical or our mind, and we need to spot when this is happening. So in order to overcome autopilot, in order to bring your focus back and to train yourself to focus at a high level, first of all, we need to spot when the mind has drifted. Game one is to spot when the mind has drifted. You'll be amazed how often your mind drifts without you spotting it. You'll be amazed how 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by if you autopiloting and you didn't realize. And then you'll snap out and go, oh, should have been autopiloting, come back, all right? So I challenge poker players to have a high level of focus going into your session. So you should always start with a 9 out of 10 focus. Very minimal 8. If you're not 8 out of 10 sitting down and focus, playing your session, don't even start. Don't even start. You need to optimize your physiology and get your focus at a high level before you sit down. Then you go and start playing, let's say your focus starts high, you need to be aware it's gonna drift. It's gonna drift. So get good at spotting it. Get good at spotting it. That's the only game. I can't give you any instructions other than get good at spotting when your mind is wounded. All right, then the key part of this, the key to kind of fight back against this is when you've spotted your mind has wounded, you need to re-engage the mind. You need to re-engage the mind and give it something to attach to. For most players, that's going to be asking questions, trying to solve problems. All right, I had a great conversation with a player who's having this exact problem. And for him, his solution to re-engage his mind is to ask himself, what is my opponent's range? What is my opponent's range? For him, that re-engages his mind, it gets him curious again, and it gets him engaged with the action. If he can't do that, it's a good sign, he probably needs to take a break. He probably needs to get away from the session. If he can't ask himself, what's my opponent's range, and he's not engaged in that process, there's a good chance that he needs a break, he's too tired. All right, so we need to get good at both avenues. Realize when we're playing poker, autopiloting is going to cost us a lot of money. We're going to play bad poker, or at least like very ABC, which if you're playing super low stakes against a very soft player pool, you might get away with it. But as soon as you're trying to play high level poker in mid to high stakes, you can't get away with autopiloting. All right, and you do a lot better by improving your focus. All right, so the first thing is get good at spotting when your mind has wounded. All right, and then give your mind something to bring it back, something to anchor it to, and to re-engage the mind. Remember, the brain is always looking for ways to downregulate energy, and the challenge is the more you play poker, the more your brain thinks this is just standard stuff, this is just a normal spot, it's a standard check spot, standard bet spot. You need to give your brain something to engage with again, right? More problems to solve. And very often it's questions you can ask yourself to re-engage the mind. And be watching out for it. Throughout your session, you've got to be on guard for drifting to autopilot, spotting that, and bringing it back. All right, so if you are autopiloting a lot, question to ask yourself is, am I spotting myself autopiloting? Can I improve my ability to spot when I'm autopiloting? And second question is, can I re-engage my mind with what I'm doing? And this applies to whether you're playing 1 table, 10 tables, 20 tables, which I wouldn't advise for many players. It's the same process. Can I re-engage my mind with what I'm doing? And the cheat when players can't do it is to go, oh, I'm bored, I'll just do something else on the side, or I'll play more tables. What's really happening is you're basically saying, I'm autopiloting, or I'm not playing great, I can't get my mind to re-engage, so I'm gonna give myself more stimulus. That is not training the focus muscle, all right? It's actually training yourself to be distracted going forward. So when you spot it, put some practice in, and every time, you've got dozens and dozens of opportunities every grinding session to put some repetition in here, to train that skill of spotting when the mind is wounded and bringing it back. Now, if you want to work on this skill and 7 other skills to be an elite poker athlete, I put together a free PDF for you guys, which will teach you how to train each of those skills. Today's skill is focus, and autopiloting is one of the obstacles to high focus, and that's skill number 3 of the poker athlete training, which you will learn in the PDF below. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button before you go. There's going to be plenty more coming from me very soon.